hundreds of vans are causing conflict across the country, here's why. This area in Bristol is one of many areas now across the country where people are actually living inside vans, calling the curbside their home. There are about 600 people who are now living inside vans here in Bristol, and the numbers have got so big the council's now taking legal action against them. But why, you might ask, are they living inside vans? Well, for some it's a lifestyle choice, but for others it's a symptom of a national housing shortage.
The main thing for me was sort of leaving my job, and this was sort of the only thing I could afford. So I didn't have a wealth of savings built up because I'd just sort of been renting, and all my money would pretty much go to that and food. I just needed somewhere to stay. I mean, the alternative to buying this would have been just sort of being homeless around the United Kingdom.
Not just the rent, it's the rent, the council tax, all the bills. Not an awful lot of people choose to live on the side of a road in a caravan or a van for fun. You know, most of them have been forced into it one way or another.
And this is why the council wants them to move on.
The rise in vehicle dwelling is absolutely being driven by the housing crisis here in Bristol and elsewhere across the country. We found that people were using parts of the Downs as a kind of makeshift toilet, and obviously that's completely unacceptable. We're going to court now to bring in an injunction which would prevent people from parking up and living on the roadside up on the Downs.
And there are other areas of the country like Falmouth in the southwest or Glastonbury in Somerset that are seeing these van encampments cropping up. Come with us to Brighton, 165 miles away.
I collect rainwater in there. When it rains, that fills up, so I use that for, you know, washing the plates and everything. Keep my rubbish clean and tidy in there, and take the rubbish down to the recycling bin whenever we need to.
My child died a few years ago and I became very unwell, and I just needed to be somewhere out of things to try and deal with my bereavement, which I've done for several years, but now I'm trying to get back into a house. But because of the housing shortage, I found it incredibly difficult. So I feel like the people who live in vehicles, we're part of the homeless problem. I think your child dying is probably about the worst that can possibly thing that can happen to you. So a lot of people who live like me have had mental issues due to the stresses of their life.
Ellen and Steve are both living in a van, but for them there's just no alternative. They simply can't get a house.
The barrier is they want a certain amount of income. And like the one place we went to, they were asking for £40,000 a year income. Well, both of us combined with our pensions, we don't make that. We can't make that threshold.
Between 75 and 100 people are living like this here in Brighton, and many of them for the same reasons. Van encampments like this one are cropping up across the country, but in some cases it's causing conflict.
So I've found over the last week there's been 2 separate occasions where I've found bags on the football pitch full of human excrement, and without going into too much details, it's undoubtedly human excrement. This, I don't know if this is a school fence for a primary school. My neighbours up here have seen the van inhabitants urinating up against the fence. Primary school. So it's just not acceptable. None of this is acceptable. The residents here are very tolerant, but you know, everyone has their breaking point.
We don't know if any of the van dwellers are responsible for the waste Neil describes, but it's clear the mere presence of the vehicles is causing controversy.
I've worked all of my life, from the age of 12 years old. Anybody that says, oh, you shouldn't be living like that, okay, well, write a nice cheque, buy us a nice piece of land, or donate us a house, or shut your mouth. Simple as that.